We are back for another state test prep video. Today we are covering 7.G.1, the first of our geometry standards. And we're going to jump right in because there were some doozies on this one. Madeline wants to create a scale drawing of a room. The room is rectangular with a length of 24 feet and a width of 18 feet. The scale drawing needs to fit on a piece of paper that is 8.5 inches by 7 inches. She also wants the drawing to be at least 4 inches wide and long. So there's two things. One, place numbers in the box to show a possible scale for the drawing, and then use the connect line tool to create the scale drawing using the scale you selected in part A. Okay, so here's all the things we have to think about for this question. A, we have to think about the fact that it needs to be at least 4 inches wide and long. Each inch is represented by two of these boxes. So it needs to be at least 8 boxes long. Okay. It also needs to be a scale of 24 to 18 feet. So you have to think about numbers that go into both 18 and 24 because you don't want to have to be like trying to figure out a scale where you're halfway through a box. So let's look at the numbers, the factors of 18. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. And 24 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. So if you try to use 2, right, that means that one of your sides is going to be 12 inches long, of which that would mean it would be 24 boxes long, which I don't believe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We don't have enough boxes. This is only 17 boxes this way. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14 boxes this way. So that doesn't work. What about 3? Okay. 3 means that the 18 will be 6 inches or 12 boxes, which works. The 24 will be 8 inches, or that would be 16 boxes, which works. Barely, but it works. So let's use 3. We're going to make our scale 3 feet. So now each inch, so every 2 boxes, is 3 feet. So let's convert. We have 6 inches and we have 8 inches. Okay, so we need to go 16 boxes to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And when you do this, I would advise that you start at the bottom left, because as you can see, we barely have enough room. Now we need to go up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And once again, we barely have enough room. And then just make a rectangle to create your points. 3 is the only scale factor that works here. That gives you both whole numbers. If you tried to use 6, would not meet the 4 inches wide and 4 inches long requirement. So this is the only scale factor that works. Question 2. From the Spring 2016 OST, Calculator Aloud. Angelo draws the 2 rectangles shown. The second is a scale drawing of the first. What scale factor did Angelo use to draw the second rectangle? Okay, so here's how you do scale factor. Okay, you need to analyze your 2 sides. Okay, and it needs to be the same side. This is the right side of the first rectangle. This is the right side of the second rectangle. Okay, so this forms a ratio with this. So you'll want to put the second one on top of your ratio. And remember, your ratio could be written as a fraction, like I've done here. It could be written as a colon, like I've done here. But for this, I'd use a fraction, because what does a fraction mean? It means divided by. So let's just take our calculator. We'll turn it on, because we're allowed it for this question. We have 11.25 divided by, I just hit clear, 11.25 divided by 4.5. And you hit enter. And it tells you it is at a 2.5 scale factor. Now, if this is correct, then the ratio for 16.25 and 6.5 will also be 2.5. Let's check. 16.25 divided by 6.5 is also 2.5. So we're all good. What scale factor? 2.5. Question 3. From the Spring 27 OST, calculator allowed. You'll notice that calculators are allowed on most of these questions, which is fantastic. An architect makes a scale drawing of a building. She uses the scale shown. 1 centimeter is 3 meters. The length of the building in the drawing is 11 centimeters. What is the actual length in meters? So again, we're setting up essentially a ratio. Okay, so 1 centimeters equals 3 meters. That means it's at a 1 to 3. So when you do this, how do you go from 1 to 3? Via multiplication. You multiply by 3. That's essentially your scale factor. So if the length of the building is actually 11, or the length of the building in the drawing is 11 centimeters, and we're trying to figure out what its actual length is, since to go from here to here we multiply by 3, to go from here to here we also multiply by 3. What is 11 times 3? You can get out the calculator if you need to, but otherwise it is 33. All right. Next question. Magdalena creates a scale drawing shown of a rectangular field. So we have 3 centimeters, 7.2 centimeters. Okay. 1 centimeter equals 4.5 centimeters. All right. What is the area in square meters of the actual field? So we're going to talk about the right way to do this, and we're going to talk about the wrong way to do this, because people might try to do it either way. First thing you want to do is you want to figure out what the actual size of the field is. So we have, again, a ratio of 1 to 4.5. And we have a 3 to what? And a 7.2 to what? So to get from 1 to 4.5 via multiplication, you multiply by 4.5. So here, my camera's blurry, we're going to do 3 times 4.5. Whoops. 4.5 equals 13.5. And 7.2 times 4.5, which is 32.4. That's our new side lengths, okay? So instead of 3, we have 13.5 meters, and instead of 7.2, we have 32.4 meters. Now, we need to find the area. How do you find the area of a rectangle? Area is equal to your length times your width. So our length is 32.4 meters, Our width is 13.5 meters. And now we just multiply 13.5 times 32.4. 437.4 meters squared. That's the right way to do it. Here's the way that some people might think to do this. Some people might think to, instead of multiplying bigger numbers, you might think to multiply and find the area of the small one first. So length times width, 3 times 7.2 equals 21.6, and then try to scale that up. But that doesn't work. So 21.6, whoops. Ooh, is that thunder? 21.6 times 4.5 is only 97.2. So that's not going to get you the same answer. So you have to convert these first before you find the area. You have to. All right. Let's move to question 5. Once again, calculator allowed. The figure on the left represents a scale drawing of the figure on the right. What is the scale? So remember, we're comparing like sides, so 2 inches to 5 yards. This is asking what's the scale, 1 inch to how many yards? So what I would do, and again, calculators are allowed for this question, which is fantastic. What do I need to do to multiply, what do I need to multiply by to get from 2 to 5? So the easiest way to figure that out, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. If you multiply 2 by 2.5, you will get 5. And just like that, you're done. That's your scale. So your scale would be 1 inch to 2.5 yards. Because even if you just did this by the same way of having 1, what's 1 times 2.5? But 2.5, so you're good. That's from 2018 OST. Question 8. 6. Micah has a garden. Oh, this one's no calculator. Ooh. He constructs a scale model of the garden using the scale 1 inch to 2 feet. The garden has a length of 6 feet. Okay? What is the length of the garden in the model? So we're working with 1 inch to 2 feet. And we're going to question mark inches out of 6 feet. So, there's a number of ways you could do this, but to keep it consistent with what we've been doing, how do you go from 1 to 2? By multiplication. You multiply by 2. So, whatever we have to do, we have to multiply something by 2 to get 6. Either you could figure that out manually of what times 2 makes 6, or you could do it in reverse, which is what is 6 divided by 2, which is essentially asking the same question. Is 3 times 2 6? Yes. So you just mark it off as done. All right. Question number 7. Joanna draws a scale model of a rectangular table for a carpenter to build. On her drawing, 3/4 of an inch represents 1 foot. In the drawing, the table is 7.5 inches long. How long in feet will the table be when the carpenter builds it? Okay. So let's talk about another way we could do this. Okay. We're given information of 3/4 of an inch represents 1 foot. And we're told the model is 7.5 inches long. Say how many feet? So we've been working with the whole way of going from one side to the other. But another way that you can do this is you can figure out the ratio between these two. You can divide 7.5 by 3/4. And that will give you your missing number here. So let's do that. We are allowed a calculator. So let's talk about how to put this in. 7 ABC, 1 ABC, 2 divided by 3 ABC, 4 equals 10. That's it. That's all it is. 10 feet. That's your missing link. Alternatively, you could have done it the way we did, where you found the scale factor by doing 1 divided by 3/4. Whoops. 1 divided by 3 ABC 4, which gives you 1 1/3. And then, knowing that this is 1 1/3, you could multiply 7.5 by 1 1/3. Whichever way you want to. Times 7 ABC1, ABC2 for 7.5. You still get 10. All right. Question 8. 2022 OST calculator allowed. This is a scale drawing of Leslie's bedroom. The scale of her drawing is 1 inch to 1.5 feet. What is the area in square feet? All right, so as we said last time, we have to figure out our new dimensions first before we go calculating area. We know that 1 inch is 1.5 feet, meaning that you are multiplying by 1.5. So you're going to multiply each of these by 1.5. 6 times 1.5 is 9. 8 times 1.5 is 12. Now, you can find the area. Area is still length times width. Your length is 12. Your width is 9. So your area is 12 times 9, which is 108. Alrighty. One more question, then we're done. From 2024 OST, 2 right trapezoids are shown. The larger trapezoid is a scale drawing of the smaller trapezoid. What scale factor is used to draw the larger trapezoid? So, we talked about how when you want to compare scale factors, you have to compare like sides to like sides. The thing is that this shape is not facing the same way. They flipped it. Because you can see the smaller of the two is on the left here, while the smaller of the two is on the right here. So this side pairs up with this side. The bottom still pairs up with the bottom. This is a calculator aloud question, so just pick one of the pairs. Take the bigger number first, 10.5, divide it by the smaller number, which is 6. And you get 1.75. That's your answer. Alright, so that's going to do it for 7.G.1. If you have any questions, let me know. I can help you out.